My mom died at a young age of 52. She died on June 30th, 1973, in Los Gatos, California. She was in a nursing home. And with my mom, she had diabetes. She had kidney problems. She was not on dialysis or anything, but she had kidney problems and I guess high blood pressure. But that's what her death certificate says, that she died. Now, one time, she was at our house, and she was just not doing very well. Anyway, the ambulance came and took her to the hospital, and they had to take her clear from San Jose, clear up to Redwood City, to the Kaiser Hospital there. And that's where the doctor told us she had several things that could kill her, and she probably wouldn't make it, but she did. But she was always sick. She was losing her eyesight, and she was losing her eyesight. She was not doing well, and sometimes she would sort of pass out. And anyway, she ended up back in the nursing home. She could only be in the hospital so many days before she had to go to a nursing home, and that's why she went to the nursing home. And she died June 30th, as I said, 1973. Now, with my mom, I'm going to tell you another thing that you may not know. I had my dad's brother. His second to the oldest was named Roland Watson. And Roland actually was an astronomer, and a place outside of San Jose at Lick Observatory. And his wife, Conny, was a librarian at Mount Hamilton Lick Observatory. And they have one daughter named Debby Watson. And because so much, San Jose was growing so much, and all the lights from the city was going up to the mountain, they had to close Lick Observatory and start in Santa Cruz Observatory. And so then Aunt Connie and Uncle Ron moved over to Aptos, California, right. I get mixed up on the states. And Deborah, was taking dance lessons, ballet lessons in San Jose. And the Highway 17 between Santa Cruz and San Jose is kind of a notorious highway. And so...
Notorious for what?
I'll tell you. It was a notorious highway, and because it didn't have just had a solid double line between the ongoing and outgoing lanes. And anyway, lots of accidents. And so, in 1965, Aunt Connie was taking Debbie to a ballet recital. And at this one, it's called Laurel Creek Curves, there was an accident. And Connie was killed, and Debbie was killed, and their dog Thurber lived.
Wow.
Anyway, Aunt Connie and Debbie was my Uncle Ron's life. And
Aunt Connie was Ron's wife, and Debbie was his daughter.
Yeah. And Uncle Ron then just went way down the tubes. And he started drinking and drinking and drinking.
Can't blame him.
And he had a red Volkswagen. And he was driving that all over. And Whenever Ron was in trouble, he would call my mom and dad. He would call and specifically ask for my mom. And my mom would always take him in. And my mom always took care of him. And it was a hard thing. It was a very hard thing. And then my dad, one day he hadn't heard from Uncle Ron for a while. And Uncle Ron, after this last episode, he would go to Lake Powell. He'd go all over the place with a sailboat, and he was doing lots of things. But at this time, he was in, I forgot the name of the town, but it's close to where Joyce and Ed live in California. And my dad said, I have a bad feeling, and this is before my mom died. I have a bad feeling, and I'm going to go see Ron. And so he went over there and found Ron dead. And he died shortly before my mom did.
What did he die of, did they say?
He had a heart problem, and the heart problem drinking did not help him.
Yeah.
But he died. But the thing why I was telling it with my mom's story is because my mom took care of him so much that no people usually wouldn't do that. And I know there's times when he thought I was Debby, his daughter, or maybe I was Aunt Conny, and because he didn't really understand what was going on. But anyway, that was Aunt Conny, Uncle Ron. And Joyce, my sister, has so many more stories because she was the age of Debby. And Debby and Joyce were very close. And Joyce went up to Mount Hamilton so many times, and she did so much up there. They had a 120 telescope, and we were able to go in there and run around and play in there where most people don't. And they lived up there, and it was just a fun thing. And so Joyce has so many more stories that she could tell about Uncle Ron and Aunt Connie and Debby.